Transformation happens through a reorganization of your internal structure that makes the old reality impossible to maintain and the new one inevitable. Your life can shift if you know how to recognize them, how to catalyze them intentionally. But people push and strive and grind, believing that if they just work harder, eventually something will break through. But it's all about resonance, alignment, and a very specific internal configuration that most people have never been taught to recognize. If you're expending enormous energy but getting nowhere new, it's because you're using a framework that was never designed to create the kind of transformation you're seeking. Personal transformation fails for some people because they believe change is cumulative, that if you make small improvements consistently enough, that eventually you'll arrive at a dramatically different life. But the most profound transformations happen through collapse and reorganization. Right now, you exist in a field of potential where multiple versions of your future are simultaneously available. But your habitual patterns of perception, your repetitive emotional states, your unconscious beliefs constantly collapsing that field of potential into the same familiar reality over and over again. What unlocks everything is you're not stuck in your current reality. You're stuck in your current pattern of collapsing reality. While it might seem impossible to change your entire life, it's absolutely possible to change your internal mechanism that's generating your experience of life. You're not changing reality itself. You're changing the energetic and perceptual mechanism through which reality is being filtered and collapsed into your experience. The mechanism isn't in your conscious mind. The automatic mechanism of neural firing that operate below your conscious awareness is on your autonomic nervous system, which is constantly scanning for threat or safety and organizing your entire physiology around that assessment. It's in your bioelectrical field, the measurable electromagnetic signature that you learned that your heart and brain generate, and it interacts with the fields around you. It's not just a change in your thought and behaviors, it's a fundamental recalibration of the deeper systems. It's not how do I get what I want, but rather what internal configuration would make the reality I desire the natural and inevitable expression of who I am? Let me explain what happens in your brain and body. When you enter certain neurological states, particularly those with high levels of focus, combined with relaxed alertness, your brain releases neurochemicals that makes your neural networks highly plastic, meaning they can rapidly form new connections and prune old ones. You're not gradually building pathways over months and years. You're creating the conditions for rapid neural reorganization that can happen in minutes or hours when the right internal state is achieved. But when your nervous system is chronically activated in flight or fight mode, your brain waves remain in high beta frequency. In this state, you're neurologically incapable of accessing integrated states where rapid transformation occurs. It's like trying to download a new operating system while your computer is running a dozen programs simultaneously and overheating. The download can't happen because the system doesn't have the bandwidth. Similarly, when your nervous system is locked in survival mode, responding to perceived threats, managing chronic anxiety, or operating from scarcity, you cannot access the coherent brain states where a quantum leap occurs. This is why people can read every self-help book, attend every seminar, learn every technique and still feel fundamentally unchanged. They're trying to install new programming while their system is running in a mode that blocks installation. Transformation begins with the internal conditions that allow for rapid reorganization. You can be carrying years of learning, years of practices, years of understanding, and it all seems to be dissolved in your awareness without creating visible change. But then an internal shift happens, a moment of truth, of surrender, of clarity, of alignment, and suddenly everything crystallizes, and you finally created the conditions that allowed all that accumulated potential to reorganize itself into a new structure. When your thoughts, emotions, and energetic state align in a unified direction, when there's no internal contradiction or resistance, you create a powerful organizing collapsing possibilities into actualities at an accelerated rate. But for a lot of people, this doesn't happen. We've been conditioned to believe value comes through doing, that transformation requires constant action, that if we're not grinding, we're not growing. So we fill our days with productivity, tasks, endless motion. But quantum leaps emerge from depth. They require moments of stillness where your nervous system can shift out of doing mode and being mode. Transformation requires rest to integrate.